have been watching and listening to your podcast, and when I got into podcasting, you were one of the star podcaster of IVM
Really?
Network.
I'm
And that's
that
what
old.
they said. So, but from that, since that time, I have been observing, and you're just becoming better at the craft that you're doing month by month. What is happening? Like, how do you manage to improve and enhance things that you already do good?
So I was that kid who would come to everybody and say, "Have you heard this?" or "Have you seen that?" and just want to talk to random people. My parents had to oftentimes, unfortunately, we'd go on a train journey and I'd be that kid who'd suddenly just go and start telling everybody in the compartment what we did today, what my parents said. So, and I was that
So, you're
person.
born podcaster.
In many ways, podcasting was a way for me to find, almost like channel that whole thing and find a great way to do that. So I just do that, and then I do very little prep, so it keeps it exciting for me that I'm just literally having like a freewheeling chat with anybody I meet. The creator side has been a more recent discovery beyond the podcasting, but it's just conversations.
And in every conversation, the point of view, generally I've been observing, and there are so many different ideas that you present. And the beauty is you take this complex idea, and only other person I could think of is Simon Sinek, because he would also take this complex idea and just break it down and make it so simple. Like the other day he was talking about vulnerability, and there's such a complex idea. Are you vulnerable? Are you not? But he said it is not that complex. It's all about you walk into a room, and in the meeting, if you don't know something, you say, you know what? Hey, I don't know this.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah.
And that was simplified to another level. But when I watch your content, I think you're Indian Simon Sinek, if I may say.
Good. That's a great compliment to get. I've worked on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've spent some time, even like how I talk on the mic. I was a mumbler. I still am in a normal context a mumbler because I tend to talk faster, or rather, I think my mind works faster than I talk. So I have to standard joke in college was when Varun presents, you have to look for the subtitles. Because I would just mumble and someone would get some key words, it should be, and that's what it would be. So I actually sat in front of a mic. That's why I could podcast during the early pandemic, because I had bought a mic at home and I would sit and practice how to talk slower.
You had it before?
I had a mic at home.
Okay.
I had a mic at home which I had bought late 2019. So when the pandemic hit, I had a mic at home. So that's why I could continue podcasting with an actual mic. And I just have worked on that. And like you mentioned Simon Sinek, right? I look at a lot of people like a Simon Sinek, like a Ryan Holiday, sometimes a Gary Vee, just for the way he uses formats, Brené Brown, Dr. Julie Smith, so or even a Jay Shetty. Saying, how are they articulating an idea? So I'm a format junkie. Come from a production background and worked in shows. So I'm like, what is the format? Like, what are they using physically? What is the storytelling nuance they use, and how can you use that? And so I have a lot of you'll see my notes, there'll be screenshots, there'll be Instagram links. I have tons of those, and I keep learning from those and testing those.
A larger theme of this podcast is think like a high performer. हर गेस्ट के साथ हम इस तरीके से ये डिज़ाइन कर रहे हैं शो कि आपको लगे कि आपके लाइफ के अलग अलग पहलू निकल के आए, या फिर आपके रिलेटिव्स की, आपके कॉलीग्स की, आपके पार्टनर की कोई पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट आपको समझ में आ जाए. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू लेट दैट प्रोसेस हैपन विद ईच एपिसोड. मुझे कई सारे मैसेजेस आए जहाँ पे लोगों ने कहा कि दे फील दिस वे एज द गेस्ट वॉक्स थ्रू दिस एग्जैक्टली व्हाट द आइडिया इज. सो थैंक यू सो मच for being part of this journey. Make sure that you share it with somebody who is also willing to look at themselves. Varun has brought certain aspects about accepting himself and not accepting himself, और ये वाली जो जंग है ना, वो हम सभी करते रहते हैं. So to go beyond it, to find the answers, we will use different mental fitness tool on this show. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next week.